Hello, my friends from around the world. So great to be with you and to finish off this. I'm going to actually do a little segment here of the Class 8 of Herb Fitch's Chicago seminar. It's called Utopia Now. And I'm only doing a small section here of the beginning because a lot of it is thanking everyone that helped him put this seminar together. So I don't need to read all that, but just a couple paragraphs here, and then I've got another one following the continued chapter 8 on this. Will follow this. So Herb starts here after all of his thank yous to everybody. Some time ago, not far, there was a you, and it had a mortal name. It had a mortal body. It mingled with other mortals, and then a you began to develop, which stepped away from this you, this mental image. And somehow, without eyes, you were heading for something called immortality, away from it all, and yet it surrounded you. As you walked into immortality, there were two of you. There was the mortal you and the immortal you, almost side by side. One dwarfed the other. History was being made, stepping out of reality into reality from illusion, into a touch of the spirit from the material world, finding self. I think we may have started on a degree of that and feel that we're moving correctly. I don't feel anything in the spiritual atmosphere which says we are making serious errors. We seem to be moving in a direction that has health in it, that has vision, that has purpose. And I think many of us can feel that we have definitely departed from an area of murkiness and a degree of inadequacy into something strange and wonderful. Something that brings us closer to the Christ figure, enables us to say, I'm following you, and you can't even cast a shadow between us. I'd like to feel that way. I hope you feel that way. And I think now we can get on with it. See what's to be done in our lives. There's something that demands expression, and it's coming forth now, in such a way that I don't think it can be denied again. There is something that is saying, I am the immortal Christ. Not fully realized, but I know I am. And there's nothing that can deter me from the full extension of self into the spiritual world. There's enough momentum created in me to move me out of the illusion. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it feels a lot more warm and inviting than struggling around in doubts about who, where, and what I'm doing. I don't have any doubts about it. I know what I'm doing. I can't put my finger on where I'm going, but I have a general sense of the direction. And I'm trying to speak for all of us so that we have enough started within us that we can look at the next hurdle. It's not going to be much of a hurdle because we're facing everything with the knowledge that anything that's wrong isn't strictly there to make me come over it so that I can benefit by the hurdles. Ready for anything. And that will be some tough going. But we need every negative in our lives to make us find the positive. Oh my gosh, in my own words, I can certainly be sure of that one. We need every negative in our lives to make us find the positive, so that we can see clearly the unreality. And as you'll see in the continuation of this chapter of what Jesus teaches in his disciples in washing their feet, hope you'll see that very clearly. So Herb continues here. So now Christ's message is blossoming. We feel something that Christ has done which very few people suspected. Christ also did what we are doing. Christ dropped the sense of mortality and dropped a sense of figure. Dropped a sense of everything in this world in order to attain what became known to us as Christ consciousness. All the mortal roots that had been engendered by living in this world were wiped out. Now he could say, "You wanted to give me the kingdom in time. I rejected it. Instead, I have found the kingdom outside of time, where all is the divine will in expression." The strange thing about time is that it surrounds you. It surrounds you because you are an everywhere self, and you're living in the infinitude of life. When you step up to the infinity and find your everywhere-ness, there's no possibility for the things you've left behind. Because time in various areas is one thing, but when you reach all areas of the non-terrestrial form, how can there be time here and time there, all different in your body? In yourself, it's one time, and the time is now. As you stand in the now, you eliminate all time. Can't get that one enough. As you stand in the now, you eliminate all time. To add a note on that, anything we're speaking of, a past even, again, 5 minutes ago, is nothing in the now. We get so hypnotized and distracted in time. So be aware of that. Herb continues, that is what we are doing. Time is gone. Now is. Time does not contain the various qualities of God. You cannot call on them automatically. Have them come forth, mingle, and establish your consciousness. But when you're out of time, everything is working. Everything. You are synchronized. Everything synchronizes. In time, it all jumbles. It lacks coherence. It lacks force. It lacks one direction. Let's see what it is now to overcome the illusion of time a little more. We are getting rid of that thing called time sense, which really isn't time. We had a sense of time, and now we are pure. It's not 1 o'clock. It's not 2 o'clock. It's going to be the same time, which is no time. It will be an amazing thing to walk in no time, because you're so used to having someone tell you, well, we've got to be there at 11 o'clock. And that in turn has an effect on everything you do. But in no time, you're going to find there aren't seasons. A flower doesn't bloom at a certain time of year. All these things are very small. In this world, they're not. But in that perfect universe, they're so small that you can't find any of this degree of thinking. You're in a beautiful world, which is beautiful forever. We can't say enough about it. We can't say enough about how perfection will keep us in amazement. But it's going to be a long time before the world is into the one Christ. And there will be seeming appearance of many Christs, all perfect, all exhibiting perfection in every possible way. I might say there's no money in heaven. Somehow, we don't buy or purchase things we want and need and pay for it. The reason is that everything you need is automatic. But I don't want to get into the utopia yet. I'd rather that we come to the understanding of things as they are, rather than hear about them. Because that's part of the growth expressing itself. And your job is merely to stay within what you are. Be what you are. There's nothing else to be. And let the power of being what you are express what you are. Keeping all human hands off. Knowing from now on, I'm becoming spiritual every day. There's nothing to add to it. It is the perfect kingdom. And it's perfect because I am in it. And He is in it. We are all perfect. I hope you're not bored with our perfection. We want to meditate now to say to the Father, we have tried and are trying to maintain, to attain, every precept that you gave us. And that's going to be the lead-in to the rest of the chapter in chapter 8 here, Utopia Now. But I'll tell you, please feel free to reach out to me, because this has to be spoken of on a one-on-one basis. What Jesus demonstrated in washing the feet. And I hope you catch it in the rest of this chapter, because it's very significant as we let go of trying to get rid of problems, or try and get rid of this or get rid of that, or add this or take away that. We're accepting that identity, that soul identity, divine identity. So hopefully we can speak more on that. And so love talking with the group as we can, but this is something certainly need to practice on a one-on-one basis you would like. So please touch bases, and we'll look forward to talking to you soon. All the best. Lots of love.